So I used to date this guy. And he... Oh, I don't think I'm ready to talk about that yet.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, a lot of mess. This season is... This might be more chaotic than the whole SK Raven situation, because that was causing a stir on my channel. But season 5 is very hectic. We're going to talk about some of the things that I've been seeing online. But before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. I know I promised this video would come out on Sunday, but it is Thanksgiving in Canada. So I might not have time to edit it today, but definitely by Monday, it will be out. So a lot of things have been happening. There is a 5th couple that went to Mexico that we're going to talk about. There is Renee, who has spoken out about what's been going on in her Love is Blind experience. And then also Aaliyah has spoken out. Honey, everybody is speaking out. Let's start with Renee. I feel like should we start heavy and then leave on a lighter note? Okay, let's start with the heavy. There was a 5th couple that went to Mexico. However, unfortunately for the woman involved in the relationship, it is being alleged that her fiance SA'd her. And so she is filing a lawsuit against Kinetic and him. Yeah. It's a whole mess. We don't even know who these people are. We didn't get any first impressions. We didn't get of them in the pods. Nothing. There is a whole case filing that we can read. I don't know all the legal jargon and stuff, so I'm just going to insert this TikToker to talk about it.
I'm not a lawyer, but if it seemed like there were not as many couples on this season of Love is Blind, it may be because one of the contestants from this season recently filed a lawsuit, and I'm going to break it down for you. If you are a viewer of Love is Blind, you're probably confused as to why you don't know the names Tran Dang and Thomas Smith. But it's because even though they were both participants on this season of Love is Blind, they themselves were completely wiped from all the episodes. Tran Dang, the one who filed the 16-page lawsuit, is alleging assault, false imprisonment, and negligence. And she's suing the producers of the show, Delirium TV and Kinetic Content, and the person that eventually became her fiance on the show, whose name is Thomas Smith. In addition to the assault, false imprisonment, and negligence claims, Tran alleges in her lawsuit that the cast of the show was provided several alcoholic beverages with limited food, which she says was designed to encourage the participants to engage in striking conversations and actions that would increase viewer ratings. Tran also alleges in the suit that when contestants were not in the pods, they were sequestered in hotel rooms where they couldn't have contact with family, friends, or other participants. So let's talk about the specific causes of action. In regards to the assault allegation, the suit says that on or around May 3rd, 2022, Thomas Smith, who, for context, was her fiance by this point, and they are out of the pods and in Mexico. So she's alleging Thomas Smith groped her himself without her consent and made contact with her without her consent and even over her objections. The lawsuit claims that since the production companies film everything, they surely have footage and were aware of these incidents occurring. The suit also says that Tran reported the assault and her discomfort about Thomas Smith to the producers, and in return, they tried to mask it as, quote, a lack of attraction, and then further asked if maybe it was a communication issue. The lawsuit claims that both Kinetic and Delirium are responsible for Thomas Smith's actions because he was acting under their supervision and was technically their employee since they hired him for the show. Now, in regards to the false imprisonment allegations, that claim doesn't include Thomas Smith. It's more specific to the producers Delirium and Kinetic. And for this allegation, the suit claims that the producers used violence, threats, intoxicating substances, or other means that were intended to prevent the plaintiff, Tran, from exercising her right to come and go as she pleased. So basically, even though she had the right to come and go as she pleased, they did things that would make her think or feel like she couldn't, allegedly. And the last allegation is negligence. The lawsuit says that producers owed Tran, as a participant on this show, a level of safety and security while she was filming. She claims they owed her the right to not encounter any risk of harm, any mental or physical injury. And as producers of the show, they should have taken any reports of sexual misconduct seriously. But according to Tran, they didn't protect her from any of this. So she says the actions of all three defendants, the producers and Thomas Smith, was malicious, fraudulent, and grossly negligent, and she's requesting a jury trial to hear her case.
So what I do know is that the creator of Love is Blind has also spoken out, and they allege that they were not made aware of either of the situation or of the severity of the situation. So it's not necessarily that Love is Blind is denying that she was assaulted, but they are saying that if we would have known, measures would have been taken. Yeah, that one's a tough one. I can't even lie to you. That one is really, really tough. Most of you guys know my personal story, so I'm always here for the victim. I hope things go in her favor. I don't really know if the lawsuit against Kinetic themselves will actually stick, because even though it was under the supervision of the show, it's not like The Ultimatum where they have the CCTV cameras and everything where they're filming around the clock, right? That's number one. Number two, the cast of the show are not actually employees of the show. So the liability, I don't think, falls on the production. It has the potential to be messy, but I hope that she seeks retribution in some kind of way against her perpetrators, because, assault of any kind is just unacceptable. The next thing we could talk about is Renee. Renee, as we know, had... Oh, where's the article? Here it is. Renee, as we know, had... her own story cut out of Love is Blind. We know that she went to Mexico with Carter, but it is being alleged that he was belligerent. And people also thought that she had a boyfriend. She's denying it. I'm just going to skim quickly through what she had said to Pop Sugar. I'll also tag the article down below if you want to read the whole thing. Renee says, we did get engaged in the pods and we were chosen to be followed for the rest of the journey. We did go all the way to the altar, but we did not get married. We fell in love with each other in the pods. We were excited about everything, and things went really well in Mexico as well. We were always very pleasant, funny, happy, and enjoyed each other's company. But once we got back to Houston, back to the real world, I started noticing things that I kind of ignored or blew off that were red flags and I should have picked up on. And eventually I said no at the altar. I was just as shocked as everyone else. I got a call a couple months before the show aired in August to let me know that our story wasn't going to be a big focus. What I was told was, we'll just point blank say that Carter was awful and we don't want you to have to relive that. That's just not going to be a big focus. They also said timing was an issue, so they decided to cut our story. But they never told us. I feel like it would have been even better if they kind of... Okay, well, whatever. I did ask for clarification because I was so confused at first. My first question was, wait, the wedding wasn't going to be shown? She was like, no wedding. So I kept asking more, and she was like, I think it's going to be more like you guys are friends from the pods. It was very vague, and I still thought that possibly we were going to be engaged on the show and then kind of cut down from there. Okay. She goes on to say that she did not have a boyfriend. I'm going to look for that part there. So here it is. Pop Sugar asks, is there anything else you wanted to clear up? She said, I get asked the same things over and over, so I'll eventually explain everything that happened during filming, but I was mostly frustrated about people saying that I was dating someone else. I'm wild, but I didn't do anything like that. When we got engaged at the beginning, I was head over heels. We were going to get married. I was sure of it. And then everything unfolded. But no, I was super committed. So there you have it. She says that she was not dating somebody else. However, she don't address the marriage to somebody else. So I'm just like, maybe she had one of those whirlwind romances where you meet 1 month, you're engaged in 3, and you're married 4 months after that. So who knows? Then lastly, we're going to talk about the Aaliyah interview, that she did with Cameron Hamilton on their YouTube channel, Hanging with the Hamiltons. You can go watch that in full as well. But these were the key points that stood out to me. So she said that she felt very safe with Uche in the pods, and they spoke about literally anything under the sun: upbringing, past relationships, temperament, living habits, life goal, like everything. Obviously, we know that at some point you would have to talk about this stuff in the pods because all you have to do is talk. So that doesn't surprise me at all. She says per her last relationship, he had cheated on her, but she didn't want to talk about her ex cheating on the show just because she doesn't feel like this needs to be a bashing session. She went on to say that she did therapy after the relationship because she acknowledged that she was emotionally immature and was coming out of a toxic relationship. Regarding Lydia, she said that she was told by Uche that they only dated for 3 weeks in 2020. Now, I know in my comments, some people have been saying like, Queen, you can't say that people going back to sex means that they're relating in more ways than just wanting sex from each other. I agree. However, the fine details of hanging out with his family and with the Kobe stuff and even her knowing he's coming on the show, like there's just too many intimate details that she knows about this man's life that makes me think that it was more than just sex. Maybe not a full-blown relationship, but definitely not a random hookup, okay? She also goes on to say that it was a week between the phone call that we saw on the show and the catch-up little luncheon that they had. She said that she had blocked him because she was tired of hearing all the angry rants from him. He was very upset with her, not just at the phone call. So I guess this was like a week of her being berated by him. And she was like, listen, it's enough, okay? She confirmed that they dated post the show for a month. Now, this is where things get a little bit... but has reasons that she may disclose later why they didn't work out. One of them being that he told the other guys that she wasn't his ideal type. And she goes on to say that she also did not feel the attraction from him. Now, I've been deliberately not talking about Uche's preference because I just didn't want to have that conversation because I know how it gets sometimes in the comments, especially on shows that have a bigger audience than my other shows, okay? But the way Uche regards certain women over other women, to me, definitely made me think of things similar to what Aaliyah just confirmed here. So she definitely felt the lack of attraction on his end. And then it was confirmed to her by other people who had heard from Uche's mouth directly that he did not find her, let me not say he didn't find her attractive, but she wouldn't be his type. He wouldn't go for her. The last thing that I noted was that basically Uche was in his lawyer bag, okay? He went to Aaliyah showing her all the receipts that he had against Lydia. Like he just was collecting. I feel like at some point, whether it was on or off the show, he had the intention of like trying to hand her ass to her. Yeah, he was prepared. Anyways, she says that she spoke to Lydia and doesn't want to share until Lydia decides to share her side of things because it's not her story to tell. But she does say Lydia's perspective is validated to a degree. She also says that Uche's perspective is validated to a degree. So it's kind of similar to what I was saying. I do think that Lydia did those things, but I'm not going to act as if there were not prior actions that led her to that point, okay? We know Lydia can be a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but to just say that she was acting erratically for no reason whatsoever was hard for me to believe. Uche, he's a lawyer. He knows how to make an argument fit the narrative that he's trying to paint. So of course he can tell the truth and skew it in a way that is favorable for him. I do think that there are points to his story that are true. I do think that there is a perspective of Lydia's that is also true. The problem with Lydia and how she communicates is that she gets really flustered easily. So I think it's hard for her to properly articulate what happened between the two of them. You could also tell that they were both trying to protect each other in the pods. He was talking about how great of a woman she is and she's so trustworthy and ray-tay-tay, whatever. And then with her, she was like, do you really want me to talk about what happened between us? Do you really want this? And so that's when we heard a little bit about the cheating thing, but you can tell she's keeping a lot to her chest. I don't know if we will ever get the truth. Even if they both were to tell exactly how they believe that it happened, there's his, hers, and the truth. So yeah, interesting. I'll keep up. I'll keep reading y'all's DMs that you send me. The best place to send the tea, if I'm being honest, is Discord. But if you're not on Discord, that's totally fine. I understand that too. As long as y'all send me the tea, I will update y'all. But yeah, that is what I have so far. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.